Welcome back to another episode of We Watch It Together. Unless you literally live under a rock, you've heard of MTV Cribs. It's that show where they go into a celebrity's house and they show off all their cool stuff and their fridge and their cars and all this cool stuff. It's actually really good. I was scrolling around on YouTube and this guy SunnyV2 made a video called MTV Cribs was extremely fake. Here's the evidence. I'm heartbroken. And if you're a viewer that's around my age, you know that this was like the jams when we were younger. MTV Cribs, this came on, you dialed in. You got full-blown laser vision. All I'm saying is I hope it's not too fake, because I had this vision of celebrities in my head, especially at that age, that they were the coolest, richest people on earth. Let's watch the video.
50 cents Ferraris, they were rented. Robbie Williams' castle home, it belonged to someone else.
Okay, good news is I don't know who that is.
MTV Cribs wasn't exactly legit.
And we said that that was my house.
Oh, that wasn't your house?
No, it's all lies.
And nothing shows this better than the episode with Ja Rule. He flexed his 5-bedroom mansion on Star Island in Miami, where he talked about living beside other famous celebrities. The house was so familiar that Ja Rule named each area, calling his court.
Dude, that's crazy. Can you imagine? They had to warm him up to the idea. This guy lives next door. You got Robert Downey Jr. over here. We're gonna just need you to remember all that. You gotta memorize this. You're gonna look really bad, Ja Rule.
Courtyard, the open paradise, which was patrolled by his guard dog Cookie. It was shown in the intro that the property was a rental, but this was assumed to be on a long-term basis, given he knew almost everything about the mansion. However, as it turns out, Ja Rule's house on Cribs was actually a 4-day rental, which was exposed in the
4-day rental. The budget for the show was nothing. They're like, hey, you got 4 days in an Airbnb. If you can make this work, we'll bring the film crew down. The film crew's just 8 guys with Nokia phones. Yeah!
House on Cribs was actually a 4-day rental, which was exposed in the most embarrassing way, by lawsuit. Ja Rule paid $46,000 for the 4-day lease, promising
Oh my God! 46,000, scratch everything I said. That's a crazy budget, especially for that time. 4 days is insane. I promise you there's nothing in that home worth 4 days of this. Okay, wait a second. It might have like done really well for his publicity, right? People might have been like, yeah, that's Ja Rule. Big rich man. Huge mansion. It was probably worth it, right?
Mansion's owner, it'd be used as a private home for 8 adults with no video shoots and no loud party.
No video shoots? $46,000? You better have the owner show up and give me a foot massage. What do you mean I can't film here? What are we renting it for? To stand around? Drywall's drywall, man.
Well, Ja Rule broke all 3 conditions, shooting his MTV episode whilst having a party with over 600 people.
600 people? Oh my God. Dude, Ja Rule said, give me those rules. I want to break every one of them in style. No video shoots. MTV. No loud parties. I'm Ja Rule. 8 adults? I think I could do a little better than that. 600 people? What kind of party are you throwing? What, did they film Project X here? Is that what Ja Rule was doing? That's wild.
In the process, holes were punched in the walls, furniture and doors were damaged, the driveway somehow cracked, while were left throughout the house. As a result,
damn, what a party, dude. 2 things. $46,000 to rent this place. Drywall fixed. What, $140? That furniture, I could tell you right there, needed to be replaced.
Yeah, he did them a favor by destroying that couch. That was an ugly couch.
Yeah, if anything, it was a favor. I agree. And how do you, what did he say, cracked concrete?
Somehow cracked.
Okay, yeah, cracked concrete. Dude, this is one of those parties you call people to tell them about. Dude, you're not gonna believe what we did. Forget the drywall, forget the furniture. $46,000, I'm gonna do whatever the guy want. You understand me? Whoever owns this property, look at me. I'm gonna turn the pool into Kool-Aid. I'm gonna do insane things in this property. $46,000. Iron Man couldn't pry me from the door, ripping this place to shreds. $46,000 for 4 days. I want catering from that guy's entire lineage, and they feed me directly grapes. Are you kidding me? $46,000?
Bombs and syringes were left throughout the house. As a result, Ja Rule and MTV were sued for $1 million, but at least it looked like a house that Ja Rule would live in, as the Ying Yang Twins crib was laughably out of character. The Atlanta gangster rapping duo opened the door.
Excuse me? Who do you think you are? Laughably out of character. Mr. SunnyV2, laughably out of character. That's the Ying Yang Twins, man. Take it like a song, take it like a song, take it like $1, 5, or 10. Put some respect on their name.
Revealing the most suburban house, filled with fish tanks, sailing boats, and sea-related artwork.
Where does Sonny V2 live? At this point, I'm thinking he lives in the mansion Ja Rule rented.
We wait even like the city. We decorated this ourselves now.
That mansion was definitely decorated by some old white people, not the Ying Yang Twins.
Dude, Master Chief X 8 years ago was slanging heat.
This is clearly just a random old white guy's house that likes to fish.
Hey man, Ying Yang Twins can't like boats? You might be right. I don't know, man. I don't really.
And likes boats.
They'd even argue over where they
That was a little weird. Can't argue.
bought appliances and had to improvise names for each of the fish. You can tell the Ying Yang Twins have never been in that house.
Bro, they even had to make up names for the fish. Like, is it a crime to name fish? Dude, that's insane. Can you imagine them talking before the cameraman came in? All right, man, we got to name these fish. I'm thinking Becky, sailboat. No, it's too close. It's too close. Sailboat. We got boats on the wall. They're going to know. This one's Salt. This one's Shaker. They just start naming their songs, and they're like smirking at each other like they're being really clever.
Actually, the inspiration for the song.
It seemed they at least owned the vehicles at the end, as the cars displayed by Bow Wow were rented for the show. He was
Hey man, I like Bow Wow. Let him rent a car too.
just 18 years old during his first Cribs appearance, but despite having starred in some high-profile
What do
movies,
you mean first Cribs appearance? He's on Cribs multiple times. I feel like once I've seen a house once, I've seen it enough.
it seemed unrealistic that he could afford a
Yeah, not gonna lie. 14,000 square feet. What are you gonna do with all that, man? Rent it to Ja Rule?
bedroom mansion and a fleet of luxury cars. With his name airbrushed above his bed, it seemed as though Bow Wow at least owned the house, although the luxury vehicles were a little more
What do you mean he at least owned the house? I feel like we're belittling things a little bit. Like Ying Yang Twins. Why did we skip the Ying Yang Twins thing? I just realized Sonny V2. Hello? Said here's the evidence. Stay with me now. Sonny V2, I would not say that that is evidence.
Yang Twins.
This is clearly just a random old white guy's house that likes.
This is evidence to you? That's your proof. I'm gonna reread the title real quick. Here's the evidence. Liar!
During his first Cribs appearance, but despite having starred in some high-profile movies,
Imagine starring in literally Tokyo Drift and you got this guy cooking you up online. At least he owns the house. Bruh.
it seemed unrealistic that he could afford a 6-bedroom mansion and a fleet of luxury cars. With his name airbrushed above his bed, it seemed as though Bow Wow at least owned the house, although the luxury vehicles were a little more suspicious, because 2 years later he'd go on the show again, during which a viewer made an observation. We had MTV Cribs
Suspicious. I love the way this guy talks. Never stop making videos, bro.
running in the background and watched 21-year-old Bow Wow show off his bachelor pad in Miami, along with his pimped out Bentley, Lamborghini, and Cadillac Escalade. But then we noticed the word prestige.
I love that he skipped over with huge shoes. I would have loved to hear you say that.
Why is shoes in quotations with huge shoes?
I think technically anything can be a shoe, right?
Is he wearing bread loaves on his feet? We haven't seen his feet. Why is this in quotations?
Kathy's got baguettes.
With huge shoes.
Shoes.
He's wearing
3 cars and decided to Google Prestige Rental Cars Miami, and what do you know, there it was. Prestige was the name of the company that Bow Wow rented the cars from, which was likely encouraged by the show, as Birdman also used the service during his appearance. Regardless, people clowned on Bow Wow, stating, ha ha ha, I wonder if he rented the condo too, which by looking at his life,
Hey man, there was another word there. You skipped.
the condo too, which by looking at his life was also highly likely. For example, he'd post his Ferrari to his Instagram, writing, take the drop top to the night spot, keep the California in California, we went hard tonight Grammy weekend, which was then reposted by a car rental company who accidentally exposed our good friend Bow Wow pulling up to the Grammys with our Ferrari California. 1 year later, it was exposed for flexing a
Is it really being exposed? Okay, so hear me out. This is kind of like a business, right? I feel like, okay, there was a tall glass of water in that title. Here's the evidence. I don't know if that's evidence. Second of all, rental cars. If I was a rental car company, I would reach out and be like, hey, Bow Wow from Tokyo Drift Fast and the Furious, do you want a Ferrari to use for a while? And all you gotta do is let us tag you. If I was Bow Wow, and I don't know about you, I'd say yeah. And if I was the company, I'd also say heck yeah. Free advertising for everybody, and you get to drive around in a Ferrari, California. Come on, man. Am I missing something here?
Rented Hollywood mansion, but the worst example was in 2017 when he'd post this to his Instagram. He showed the private jet he was taking to his concert, yet the very same day this Snapchat went viral. So this
guy, Lil Bow Wow, is on my flight to New York, but on Instagram he posted a picture of a private jet captioned, "Traveling to New York today." Was he not traveling to New York today? Did he stop traveling to New York because he posted that? What you on about, man? You know what I think is even scummier? Taking photos of a random celebrity to shame them online. I'm just saying, all right, it's this guy's job to look rich. Literally, it's his job to look rich. Your task is to look rich and wealthy, so people want to listen to your music. They want to watch your movies. I'm just saying, it's like an image thing. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Bow Wow's picture of his private jet had been taken from a limo company's website, prompting people to dig even deeper, discovering he'd done this on more than one occasion.
Okay.
It seems his MTV Cribs episode led to years and years of faking luxury, but as mentioned in Bow Wow's expose, 50 Cent had done a similar thing. 50 Cent's episode was the definition of
We start off with Ja Rule renting a mansion. Fair enough. We have proof of that. He's being sued. We go to the Ying Yang Twins, who have boats on their wall, and all of a sudden it's fake. All right, that's just it, right? There's no evidence. We just, Ying Yang Twins have boats on their wall. Liars! Come on, dude. Come on. All right, and then we move over to Bow Wow. He posted a photo of a private jet, and then he flies in a plane. We have no idea if it's a plane or a jet. And all of a sudden, shaking your head?
Access. He showed his 19-bedroom,
51,000 square feet.
bathroom mansion, which
35 baths, I'm gonna have a stroke.
Included a squash court, movie theater, recording studio, and its very own nightclub. Equally impressive was his car collection, which included 4 different rare collectibles.
Is it 50 Cent rich? Let me put you on. You're a big name rapper. You rent a giant property for MTV Cribs just so you look richer. It kind of, I don't know, man. It's kind of on brand. It kind of makes sense to me.
Ferraris, leading him to state,
I know you ain't see these before when you was watching Cribs because everybody ain't got these.
Yet it seems 50 Cent didn't have them either. Each Ferrari had little numbers on their windshields, leading to a forum post reading, "If you notice the small white numbers in the top left-hand corner of the windshields on the F50 and Enzo, those are the numbers of the cars that were in the Hartford Concorso parade, which was confirmed when the user posted these photos." Another forum member added, "It's pretty obvious that they aren't his, because it's a known fact that there's only one yellow Enzo in CT, which was..."
50 Cent and the guy that owns the yellow Enzo probably already knew that people would know this. So they already anticipated this. There's no way, right? People are gonna know it's the only one.
It's owned by a pretty well-known hedge fund manager. Well, someone else then officially confirmed. The Ferraris are unfortunately not 50 Cent's.
Ferraris are unfortunately not his. He invited my friend over to his house for this, and my friend let him use the cars for the episode, and they were filming some music videos that day as well. The Enzo F50 and F99 all belong to one owner. Okay, so what, man? Is it really that bad? Is he really that bad?
He invited my friend over to his house for this, and my friend let him use his cars for the episode. 9 all belong to one owner. When 50 Cent later filed for bankruptcy, he'd admit the cars were rented. He'd instead...
I mean, it's part of keeping up an image, man. I don't know. Am I the minority here in this? I just feel like this is part of keeping up a rapper's image. You're supposed to look rich and famous, right?
Pay off debts by selling his mansion, therefore joining the likes of JoJo, who admitted to doing...
Wait. So he had to sell the mansion. Was the mansion his? Was the mansion his? Hello, Sonny. You never touched base on the mansion or the Ying Yang Twins. I am upset. I like your content. Please don't think I'm hating on you over this.
Doing MTV Cribs while she was actually homeless. JoJo...
Dude, chill. Jeez, man.
Showed MTV through her Cape Cod vacation home, where she supposedly loved spending her summers. It was therefore a little weird that she didn't.
It's insane to not own a house and not own a vacation home. But in the MTV Cribs, you're like, man, we could only afford this tiny rental. So what we're going to do is call it your vacation home. It's like, that's so insane. You had to fabricate 2 properties for this. That's pretty extreme. Still need you to elaborate on those Ying Yang Twins, young man. Look, don't get me wrong. It is probably faked. I want to be clear. The Ying Yang Twins one was probably fake. But it's just, you poured a tall glass of water when you said, here's the evidence. And you just, it's kind of barren of evidence. And the Ying Yang Twins one, yes. 2 rappers, they got boat photos in their house. That's not evidence.
Invite her extended family, but she'd reveal the reason for this exactly 10 years later. JoJo was asked about the episode in a Huffington Post interview, to which she'd respond, it was so ridiculous. The thing is, we didn't have—
Oh, wow. Okay, so first of all, nice proof. This is evident. What was it like being on Cribs? It was so ridiculous. The thing is, we didn't have a home at that point. I'm not laughing at homelessness. I'm laughing at the ludicrous nature of a double home fabrication here. My mom and I were living out of suitcases and we were mostly in hotels. So that was actually my uncle's house on the Cape. Hello? 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 They own the property. All right, let's keep going. On the Cape. That wasn't my house. That wasn't my stuff. When I was sitting on that spinny thing, that was his kids. That's the truth. I should have balled hard and been like, welcome to my crib. Look at how luxurious it is. And I should have rented out a place, but no. I just used my uncle's crib. I just used my uncle's crib, so that was me lying on Cribs. That's so ridiculous to you? That's ridiculous? You had to use your uncle's house to do an episode of MTV Cribs? That doesn't sound that ridiculous. I'm gonna be honest with you. That sounds like a celebrity problem I am way below a tax bracket to understand.
JoJo further clarified.
So we went to the Cape, which I've like never been to the Cape. I like never go to the Cape. And we said that was my house.
Oh, that wasn't your house?
No, that was not my house. We brought in some like items that I had. It's all lies.
Should also answer the question,
Why even bother doing the episode then?
For the exposure.
Oh, okay.
but no episode—
It's a little bit crazy to me to be a bastion of morality all of a sudden. 10 years later, you start slipping into irrelevancy. I am irrelevant, by the way. Let's start there before I get cooked. I'm irrelevant. I understand that. But I'm just saying, to be a bastion of morality, 10 years later, it'd be like, oh, they lied and they faked it. You lied and faked it. There was you 10 years ago. You participated in those shenanigans. I mean, you're not Ja Rule ruining furniture and blasting concrete, but you did some stuff.
was faker than the one by Robbie Williams. He showed MTV his massive British castle, talking about the spots where he'd been snapped by paparazzi. He then shows his group of friends before making a joke.
I don't really know these people, but what I do is I actually phone Rent-A-Friend.
But apparently he'd also phoned Rent-A-Castle. You see, the building was so big that people recognized it as the famous St. Catherine's Court, which was owned by someone else completely.
I'm gonna be honest here. They had to have known people would know. It's almost performative at this point. It's almost like MTV Cribs is more of like a performative thing and not necessarily a representation of where they actually live, but a representation of like, hey, look how cool this house is. I'm a celebrity and you're looking at a cool house type video. You know what I mean? I don't know.
She had no idea that Robbie ever went there or that he'd hired a fake butler to help out with the shoot. Dude. It wouldn't be until 17.
Yeah, I won't lie. The butler thing's wild. You hire out a butler? Can you imagine that? Hey, we're fabricating this episode of MTV Cribs. I need you to be very, very British, and I need you to show up today. Dude, what?
Years later, that Robbie finally admitted, we didn't let Jane know that I was gonna pretend it was my house. And because I was like 23 and full of spunk, I didn't even consider other people's thoughts or feelings. So I'd like to take this opportunity to—
I mean, that's pretty insane, dude. What, they just rented it from her and then just pretended it was his house. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense, right? You're a celebrity. You got to look rich. You got to look famous. You got to look capable. You got to look like you own property. The largest castle out there. It's like, yeah.
Apologized to Jane Seymour, but it might not have even been Robbie Williams' fault. Because Redman explained in a DJ Vlad interview that MTV tried to get him to rent a house for Cribs.
I wonder if they rolled up to his house and it was like decimated. The film crew's like stepping over over like boxes of trash. Hey man, you wanna maybe just rent a place for this?
They wanted me to rent a house so I can open the big double doors and shit like, yo, look at my shit, you know.
With MTV trying to choose the home themselves.
The first thing they said was,
I'm just saying, a lot of these people, they did.
the first thing they said was, all right, we got a couple of houses picked out for you. Wow. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, Redman simply refused.
And I said, you know what, no.
Now that's how you be a bastion of morality. Hear me out. If you're gonna stand on business about this, you're gonna say, I'm not gonna fabricate it, and you're gonna be like, no, that's not me. Then no, that's not me. Redman, kudos. You're not like that other chick where she's like 10 years later, all of a sudden, it was ridiculous. We had to use my family's rich property. And, No, Redman's like, nah, I'm not doing all that mess. And also, this is wrong. Which I don't know if I necessarily agree that it's wrong. I do agree that it's misleading, but is it wrong? I don't know. It's business.
I don't want to rent a house. I want y'all to come to my house.
Accidentally making the show's most relatable episode.
He did make the episode in his own house? Kudos! He's so authentic.
MTV Cribs to his 2-bedroom apartment where he ironed his shirts on the floor.
There's no... Dude, I love Redman. Are you kidding me? Kathy, are you seeing this?
He's dope as hell.
How cute is this? Redman, if you ever see this, I have such a profound level of respect for you, man.
And flexed his frozen fish fillets. Redman's recording studio shirts on the floor and flexed his frozen fish fillets. Redman's recording studio was just a messy bedroom, whilst the rest of his house was in such disarray, you could barely notice his cousin sleeping on the ground.
Nah, he's goated, dude.
He concludes the episode stating, next time y'all need to find me, just rub these 2 wires for the doorbell.
Don't worry about
Dude, he's so
the
cool.
screen too. You know, it's still good.
The realest episode of MTV Cribs. Redman didn't fake it like other celebrities.
All right, so there you go. There's MTV Cribs was faked. Here's the evidence, except without the evidence on some of them and speculation on a whole bunch of it. But if you like these kind of videos where I watch something and I give it commentary and you want to see me just kind of do back and forth with what I'm watching, let me know. I'm happy to make these. These are fun. I could probably make a bunch of these. Let's see. I'll tell you some of the other ones I was looking at. There was one, how 2 friends turned an abandoned castle into a 4-star hotel. That sound cool to you?
I want to watch it.
See? Look at that. She's so excited. I don't know if she's my target audience. But either way, thank you for being here.